There you go. We're live. Welcome back, guys. Looks like you're on my shirt. My shirt in the background is the same color. There's no dividing line between the two. So you're like a living
Yeah.
image on my shirt.
Where's the border?
I don't know. Don't ask me. I just work here.
Ah, oh.
Welcome back, guys. While Sam's trying to figure that out, we are back today to talk about, well, it's a discussion, right? Um, about Star Trek and whether there's been
Oh.
good Star Trek since 2017. Just scheduling this live and reading the comments that have come in. There's some interesting ideas and thoughts out there, so it's worth having a discussion, I think.
And I want to clarify one brief thing. The word good. Okay?
Mm,
I deliberately picture the word good because good is a very general positive term. Right? Good does not mean
mhm.
excellent. Good does not mean great. Good means good. So a 6 out of 10 can still be classed as good. I just want to call that out. This is not, we're not saying amazing or whatever, but good can be a 6 out of 10, and that's absolutely fine. Might be great,
Yes.
but that's why it's called good. So just want to, mild clarification there.
Yeah. Grant McGregor asks how many people like Prodigy. A lot. Anybody that's watched it, I think.
Yeah,
Well, most people haven't watched it, so they think they dislike it.
I think the general consensus on Prodigy, as in like people's reaction, is the first little bit's too Star Warsy. Oh, it's actually quite good. Oh, it's really good. Fuck, it got cancelled. That sucks.
Yeah.
If you watch it fresh, it tends to be the line of thinking, and it's pretty much the same for most people.
But then people think, why'd it get canceled? Because it couldn't have been that good if it got canceled, because all they heard was it got canceled, so they don't want to check it out.
Because they did a Stuart for Enterprise. They stopped watching.
It was a political thing that the internal politics and whatever to get it that it got canceled and kind of shoved off. That's a
And
whole thing.
considering it's the cheapest show of all modern shows to make, we easily commissioned another season. And the only one with 20 episode, they made more episodes. I mean, they're half as long, of course, but as many episodes as Discovery did in its entire run in its 2 seasons because they were actual length
Yeah.
seasons, and they were properly episodic. So you got 20, so you got more stories in less years for less money with more characters and more. Anyway, lots of positives. And do you like how I framed this thumbnail with Picard being the big? Was it good? Because your Discovery, obviously everyone knows his pictures are famous. Welcome to Burnham, but was that as disappointing as Picard? So I kind of thought we'll give him the overarching visual here because that was a special time for us, and when you saw it, then we saw it.
Yeah. It was a whole thing.
It's a
Yeah.
whole
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
But was it good still? I don't know. Don't say. That'd be spoilers. All right, I'll start showing.
Go and share. And I'll tell everybody to hit that like button, thumbs up, and also make sure you subscribe to the channel. Click notification bell icon to all so you don't miss any content from us, whether it be edited or live. And yeah, 29 of you here, 12 likes. Hit that like button, guys. Also, you can join the channel. There's a join option down there on YouTube, or you can head over to Patreon/Trekyards, where you can support us on a monthly basis. It all adds up and helps the channel immensely and allows us to keep doing what we keep doing. Allows us to keep doing what we like to do for you guys and to hang out with you guys and talk Star Trek, good or bad. So, um, do all the things you need to do and welcome back. Have a good discussion in the chat there. If you could super chat or PayPal in, we would again greatly appreciate it. It does help the channel keep going, so we appreciate that. Any support you guys can offer, we love you for it. So there are also links in the description of every video to the Teespring and the TeePublic store. So click those links, check out the merchandise there, whether it be Trekyards merch or just other sci-fi merch. There's a lot of really cool stuff when you click those links. So by all means do that, and let's try to you know, get some cool stuff because there's a lot of cool stuff in those links. That's all I'm saying. All right, so we will get into it. Matt Borman says, wholeheartedly disagree that Picard season 3 was blatant nostalgia bait, and I will fight anyone who says so. It was given the crew a proper send-off that they didn't get with Nemesis. 100% agree with you, Matt. I hate the term member berries. Like that's Card season 3 would have been good if it wasn't for all the member berries. Well, yeah, I I hate that kind of thinking. Um, like fan service and stuff like that. It absolutely is because they're your fans. They're the ones that have created your franchise. They're the ones that are fanatical about your product. So don't ostracize them, you know. All good things was a proper send off. It absolutely was, yes. But then they did a bunch of movies, and Nemesis was not a proper send off. So then season 3 of Picard comes along, and we get a proper send off ish.
I'm back,
Or
baby.
oh my God, he's back.
Hi.
The party can begin.
You are welcome. That's true, though. It can begin.
I didn't say thank you.
Oh. But guys, leave your thoughts, comments, questions, and PayPal, I'm sure Stuart said it matters.
I've already done all that, yeah.
What are the people saying first? I want to let's get their say in first, and then we can jump into the discussion.
A lot of people saying that season 3 wasn't good because it was blatant nostalgia bait and member berries. So it was just throwing everything at you that remember this, remember this, remember this, remember this, to kind of be like this is good now, don't you know? People are saying that, and people have said that, and I disagree with it almost entirely because as we've talked about many times, using the universe, using the canon, using the things that people actually love, they're fans for a reason. They're fanatic about your property for a reason. Maybe you should use those. As I said, I would have had no issues with Picard's 3 seasons if they had started with season 3 with the original TNG crew, phased them out, brought in the new characters, so that by season 3 it was all the new characters. I would have been fine with that because I think they could have done a really good job with that. But yeah, that's not what Patrick Stewart signed on for, and blah blah blah. Didn't want to be in a uniform. Didn't want to, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. But member berries are tricky because you could very well argue that TNG was using member berries because it was the Enterprise, the uniform colors, Starfleet, right? But it's not member berries because it's the universe. If you can do anything in the year Picard was set, you would obviously mention the Dominion War. You'd obviously have the most famous officers in Starfleet, give or take, around somewhere. I mean, yes, there's a problem. They used the Borg 3 times. That was unfortunate, but it was 3 different showrunners doing 3 different things, and they all wanted the same thing but different. And then pandemic and blah blah. But the only reason because the 3 was as good as it was is because we did get the structure that we got. So it's weird to argue about the thing that made it the best, which was the use of the canon to the best effect. It's weird. That's why it was so good. If you take that away, it was a fine season, but that's what made it excellent, at least in that regard. So it's an odd complaint when that was sort of the point of it as well.
Well, let me get to the super chats real quick. We've got Sussy 2000 who throws in €5. Lower Decks and Prodigy were good. Strange New Worlds had a few good episodes. Picard season 3, if you like blatant nostalgia bait. Otherwise, yeah. Lower Deck and Prodigy were good. Stranger Worlds, I think Stranger Worlds has been consistently good for me, at least. I understand why people think it's gimmicky and stuff, but yeah, I just don't understand the hate towards Picard season 3. Like, it confuses me.
It's okay. If those people love Discovery season 1, then I don't need to listen to them. Like, love it. Like, they hate one, they love those. Like, yeah, that's fine. You can like your own thing.
Schmobody throws in $2 and says been shit since 09. I mean, there's been a lot of good though. Lower Decks, as we talked about, Prodigy. I mean, Picard season 3 did course correct and I think do really well. Strange New Worlds has been pretty good with the return to episodic storytelling.
And it's funny because with Stranger Worlds, I was going to say, before we pivoted, that it's funny how I personally enjoy the episodes that Sean of Trek Culture dislikes of that season. We have a reverse opinion for season 3. He vents about some episodes. I'm like, oh, I thought the Doc was great.
Yeah.
Exact opposite opinion, which is odd. So it's different people, different things.
Hmm.
Yeah. Well, I think. Well, no, do those super chats, and I'll throw a big question. So I've got a big question for you.
Ray Ricks, £5.
Oh.
Picard season 3 was good. Period.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Yeah. I think there's also 2 PayPals, if I am correct, which is obviously very
I'll
helpful,
get
guys.
Yeah, I'll get to those in a
And
second.
you could put in bigger conversation points. You can put in more of a spiel if you'd like to.
Yeah, we'll read it.
Mm-hmm.
Classic for real throws in $2. Lower Decks, thumbs up. Picard season 3, thumbs up. Prodigy, thumbs up. Strange New Worlds, thumbs up. Academy, thumbs up. Just Disco and Picard seasons 1 and 2, thumbs down.
But I mean, there you go. By that metric, we're on a hell of a winning streak. Right?
Beetle Boy Levi throws in $50. So thank you so much.
Oh my god! Thank you so much.
Save
Wow.
Save for Picard season 3, which was the TNG movie we should have
Mm.
gotten, like Undiscovered Country
Mm.
and Prodigy. I have tried time and time again to watch NUTREK and like it, and I keep going back to the old shows. I am hopeful for a change in leadership. More Terry, please. Yeah, Terry returning would be good. I mean, Legacy would be cool. I always go back to the old shows too, but I still enjoy a lot of the stuff that's in the newer shows as well. So,
And sir, thank you. Or if you're
yes,
inclined to that
amazing.
again, go on the PayPal because we get a substantial larger percentage of that, which helps us out. But that was absolutely tremendous. I mean, you top lad. The thing is, I don't know if the WandaVision, not WandaVision, the Vision show is going to, not necessarily a multi-season thing. Most of the Marvel shows aren't so built for multi seasons. So I can see that being a nice, single season moving on. So,
Mhm.
well, hopefully a great paycheck because, he's been talent scanned rather than just asked, So with the new
Mhm.
people on Paramount, I'm, while Patrick might be now too old and etc., doesn't mean they can't do it through a cameo voice, you know.
Mhm.
So yeah, him coming back is certainly possible, and there's other characters as well, or just the era, although it's a very dark era. Please invest in more light bulbs, please.
Yes. I'm going to jump to PayPal for a second. Ray Ricks sent us 656 US. Thank you. And he says this is 2 of 1 because he sends another one. Ooh, you went there with this one. I think the franchise has been a mixed bag since 2017. Disco was awful, even when it was better after season 1. And for me, Strange New Worlds has dipped in quality since season 1. He goes on to continue in the next one, saying Picard seasons 1 and 2 are just bland, and less said about Section 31 and very short treks, the
I
better.
forgot about Section 31 already.
And very short treks, me too. Apart from Picard season 3, the best treks since 2017 has been the animated shows Lower Decks and Prodigy, with which a portion of the fan base won't give credit. Yes, unfortunately, you are correct. I don't understand not giving it credit. It's written, both of them, both of the animated shows are written and curated by people that absolutely love the canon, and they're fans like us, and it shows.
Which
So,
it just shows the unexpected bias of animation really being an art that is just the undercurrent of society. Some people don't watch it because, and it's like, that's odd. But Beetle Boy says, for some reason YouTube is showing my username, but this is Kyle Swinderman.
oh, hey, Slenderman, how's it going?
There you go.
Yeah, YouTube's done a thing and reverted everybody's names back to like weird stuff. So, our apologies, but thank you, Kyle.
Yes. Well, I think the double question, although there is more super chats, is was it good before 2017? Like, when was the last time Trek was good? Where in your mind was the last time it was good, excluding 2017 onwards? When was the last good Trek?
Well, as you kind of pointed out earlier, I didn't super enjoy Enterprise for a lot of different reasons. Especially season 3 really lost me. But having gone back and rewatched it, but if you'd asked me years ago, I would have said, yeah, this Enterprise wasn't awesome. So, Voyager,
But would you call Enterprise at least good, if not great?
it's good. Yes, it was good. It wasn't my favorite for
Yeah.
multiple reasons, but yeah, I miss the golden age of Trek. So
Yeah, I think last time Trek was great was Enterprise season 4, some of it. Right? And then 3 was excellent, and then, You know, they found their steam, in my opinion, anyway. So that's just the end era, right? You know, that's just the end of that focal point. And we both enjoyed Beyond, so that you could argue that was the last one that was good before that, because I think I would certainly class Beyond as being good. It's not
Yeah,
you know,
Beyond was the best of the films for sure.
yeah, I would say it was good. There were
Mhm.
some good scenes. Like, I'm sad they didn't make another one, but
Yeah.
of course now now Chris Pine looks old enough to be older Kirk, which is fine, you know.
Mm.
But people are
George
saying him, which
J.
is great.
Yeah, George J says, let's listen, let's be objective and honest. Lower Decks and Prodigy are the only thing that's Trek since Enterprise, and we all know it. Stuart, be honest, don't lower your standards. I think Strange New Worlds is Trek. I think there's
Visually non-canon, of course, as you would say, because it
yes,
can't be
yes.
canon visually. It just can't.
Well, it's the Disco verse. It's fine. Same with Starfleet Academy. It's fine.
Mm.
Um, but I even found good moments in Discovery that were Trek moments. Although wrapped around those small little Trek moments was just generic sci-fi. But yeah, I think it's fair to say that there's more Trek than just the two animated shows. Although those are the best. So
But Fail HQ says he did a Section 31 review and all tops of video. So go check that out.
oh, excellent. All right. Royston S. Bailey,
Oh.
£5. Prodigy was a good kids show. Good kids Star Trek show. Lower Decks was good Star Trek parody. The other shows break too many conventions to be counted as Star Trek. Card is complicated.
The problem with Prodigy is that it's a really complicated sci-fi plot in a lot of ways that does not hold the kids' hands. So while you could call it a kid show, it's a kid. If it is, you are arguing a kid show directly, it's like a teen show at earliest, because some, like, I mean, a 6-year-old wouldn't get it.
Yeah.
And Murph is not a cute central piece of it to be like, look, they're revolving around a kid, like a play, like they're not Baby Yodaing, right? Oh, it's cute. No, it's just part of this narrative. And they don't even tell you who Janeway is or Chakotay is, like, properly, so why you should care? Because it's for adults who've seen Voyager who care, right? It kind of, it plays the field. It's kind of what Disney shows you to be. It's for everybody, but happens through the lens of some younger people who are not actually kids. If you look at them, Gwen's plenty old, Dahl is late teen, Rock is young, but then within the first season becomes like 80. You know, like, they're actually not young after a certain point. So yeah.
Yeah, and just that moniker of kids show, I think, really throws a lot of people off, and just they don't want to check it out. They don't want to watch it because they think it's going to be Star Trek Scouts, which is fucking ridiculous.
Is a kids show. That is the
That's actually a kids'
lowest common denominator.
We forgot to mention that in our lineup too. Right up there with Section 31 and very short treks. Ugh.
Yeah,
Anyhow.
Prodigy tried way too hard relative to how much interest it got. The fact they spoilers, they literally made Wesley the best he's ever been, and improved and continued that arc is insane. And Lower Decks being what do you call it? Parody. It's tricky because, yeah, it's hard to take everything literally, because I don't believe that a Spock helmet fell out of a ceiling plate. Right? That doesn't make sense. But also, I can believe that Riker is happy with Troy and the Titan. That's how the Titan looks, and that's the bridge, and Boimler's there, and he's got jazz. You know, that so it's kind of unfortunate, like a take it or leave it thing with what's visual, because it can't all make sense. But, you know, an amazing canon with the Packlids, amazing canon with gosh, what else? I mean, the Locarno, all that stuff. Like, so many good stories are so interesting and so well told if you take the highlights, you know. So parody is tricky. It has paradoxical elements.
Yes. Yeah, it does.
But it's so serious in a lot of other ways. I mean, they literally have an episode where Mariner fights herself figuratively in the holodeck while actually doing it really. And it's all about her having trauma and going past it, and yeah. You know?
Yeah. I don't think it leans hard enough into the parody. It's one of those things that it's inside jokes for Star Trek fans, essentially. which I don't think classifies as parody. Parody is making fun of
Well,
something with a bit of an
Orville
homage.
is close to parody in a lot of ways. Early season, because they were
No, the 2009 film is parody to Star
well.
Trek.
That was they didn't do
Galaxy Quest is a better Star Trek movie than
Yes, it is.
'09.
Yes, it is. That has a
So
heart.
yeah,
09 doesn't. Has fists
yeah,
though.
it does.
Yeah.
It does. Classic for real, $2. One thing going for Discovery is Sonequa Martin Green is super. When she's giving good writing and good character moments, yes. When she's fed stupid bullshit that she's got to perform, no, she's not.
Sorry, can I
No good
rephrase that?
actor.
Which was often fed that bullshit.
Yes, yeah. You can only do what you can do with the material you're handed.
Which is why we give credit to Nichelle, George, and Walter, because they elevated their very limited material. They elevated it, as is also the Stranger Worlds people. I mean, gosh, Melissa doing Ortega's. She elevates so little material to make her stand out. And I said that to her in person, like, you make one line engaging. Because all you're given, and you give something special there, because she did. Yeah.
Classic for real goes on to put another $2 and says Section 31 equals no rating. So bad people actively forget it. Yeah, you're not wrong. Like it's not like I just didn't think of it. So same with very short treks. I mean, there was one or two that were good
And short treks.
I didn't. Yeah, there were some short treks that were not too bad.
No, I know, but we didn't say those either.
Yeah,
Yeah. All the side content.
So yeah, I don't know why. We did cover them all. We did review them all.
We really did, yeah.
Gave them all the same kind of due diligence.
Mm-hmm.
The only one we haven't is Star Trek Scouts, because come on.
Yep. But Roy comes back. So the producers probably told us it was for kids, did they not? That's a tricky one. They were told to say it by Nickelodeon, who promoted it. Yes. And that was the company line. So if you're being told to that was the pitch, right? But Mulgrew herself said it's not a kids show, it's an inspirational show for young adults. But you can take that as a kids show, but that's not what she meant. That's not what the producers meant. And they've said to us that was a mistake. You know.
It's a good gateway show into Star Trek.
And the sad thing is, that could have paid off a kids show, and all the Trek adults put their kids in front of it, and the kids love it, and it gets really good ratings, but it's actually really more advanced for the kids than they would determine, and then it gets great views. It just backfired for them, but it could have gone really big, because the kids are a big demographic. And the toy market could have been a huge toy market, like that unfortunately didn't work. You know?
Yeah.
It was a risk.
We got the main characters from the toy line, except for Rock Talk and Janeway, which are supposed to be in Wave 2, which we never got, which is a shame.
But at least we're getting the ships, as effing expensive as they are.
Yeah, it's not really toys, per se, for kids, but yeah.
Well, the show's not for kids either, so. Hey, we're big kids. They're toys for us. Stuart. Toys for us.
I mean, if Playmates made a Protostar, which was originally, there was a plan that Playmates was going to make a Protostar.
Yes, we saw the yeah.
Yep. Shame that fell through, but anyway. Moving on. Solaris, long hauler rail fan, throws in $5.
Thanks so much.
Who would disagree with the return of the D?
Some people.
I mean, some people would say that's just nostalgia bait or member berries. Yeah. Doesn't make sense that Jordy would save the saucer.
Oh, no. The bigger one. Well, should like Generation, shouldn't it? I mean,
yes. Yeah.
But guys, it was Generations for like a week. He served on it and in the movie, he never went to the bridge.
That's true.
So you could argue that if the bridge is the important thing to refit, and Joy spent maybe one day a week on the bridge, and was refit for a couple of weeks, maybe a month, because they're not very far away at the end of the season, and they're not very far. So for 7 years, he knew it was one bridge. He was often there, and a week or two, he's obviously not going to make it the new one. He didn't know.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's no doubt. So there's no doubt. There you go. We're very high then.
Exactly. Sean Corpier throws in $5. Strange New Worlds has made me laugh and cry like the golden
Mm.
age. Here's a fiver. Thank you. I miss DS9. The original motion pictures were the best also. TNG was my origin. Yeah, it was a lot of
Mm.
people's origin. I think TNG
Hmm.
is kind of the gold standard for Star Trek.
Well, it does everything in
Um,
balance.
yeah, yeah,
You
it
know,
does. Yeah.
nothing the best, but everything in balance. You know. Uh, and you're saying
Hmm.
about what was the first thing you said?
Uh, Stranger Worlds makes me laugh and
Oh
cry.
yes, yeah, Strange Worlds. I mean, it's still difference between Strange Worlds and Discovery is it means well. It wants to be good in a Star Trek way. It just can't get away from its Discovery roots to be truly, you know,
Yeah.
it does want to be better, you know,
Hmm. Hmm.
just you know, had Discovery made a very close aesthetic to TOS, etc., then obviously it would be closer because it's coming from that era. So it's doing the best it can
Yeah.
without really throwing away the wheel it's been given. So at least they're trying.
And, and Dan Ben says, does this include the Star Trek Resurgence video game? Absolutely. Yeah. That's an outstanding piece of media.
Mm.
Um, I mean, you can go back and replay it and make different choices, and it's not too much different when you do that, but it's still interesting enough and very they respect canon. They bring back legacy characters.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's great.
what a great shout. Yeah, Resurgence. I mean, it's damn sad there's no second one because if it was as big a success as it could have been, it'll roll into the next one. Uh, that
Hmm.
was great.
Hmm. Don't
That
forget,
was
we've got Star Trek Infection coming out shortly. And it's
yes.
February 18th is the Voyager Across the Universe
Hmm.
game, which I got the special edition, which gives you two extra characters and some extra missions and stuff. So
Oh yeah, I forgot to pre-order that because it was, the day it says up for pre-order, it wasn't up for pre-order. So they must have meant like that day in their time zone. Let me go check what's there.
yeah, yeah, I did pick up mine. So yeah, those are looking both promising.
And I
Infection, oh, Infection, not so much. I mean, it's only available on limited platforms. It's not on the PlayStation, but it is on PC and MetaQuest.
but
So
if it sells well, it can port over, right? It needs
yeah,
to obviously get some sort of reaction
yeah.
first. And I appreciate that Voyage to the Unknown. It is a small, it's a small team, you know, etc. etc. Oh yeah, you
Mhm.
can't pre-order it on Steam yet, even though it's like its main platform. Hmm.
Really?
Hmm.
That's weird.
That's weird. Yeah, I was right. Okay. Um. Even so, they did a new trailer for the PlayStation. So
Mm.
this is the Voyager video game, right? And I was impressed because I didn't even think of this. We didn't even think of this when we did a review of the thing. The intro to the game was going to Voyager, but they've modified it. They're now going to Voyager Dock DS9. Because of course it
Mm.
is. Didn't even occur to me. I was watching that. I just thought it was abstract. But yeah, they've remade the entire intro with Voyager and DS9, and they've added. I don't know if you've seen this, Stuart. Have you seen the trailer? This new feature set.
I have not. No, no, no.
Really, really good. They've now added that whenever you talk to anyone on the view screen, there's now a reverse of the view screen and somebody's talking on it,
Oh,
which is
nice.
such a huge. It's not just staring at the flat bridge, which means they had to model very basic interiors for ships and stuff. So that's a lot of work they're committed to, but it does look a lot better when they actually have now
Yeah,
shot reverse shot. Yeah, much
yeah.
better. Good job, guys. That's really really good.
And Tezengari says, sadly, Star Trek Infection is VR only. That's correct. Yes. Not everybody can do VR. It makes them sick, or not everybody has the equipment. Um,
Mm-hmm. I don't.
I like I like when games like Star Trek Bridge Crew, you can do regular or VR. Um,
Yeah, I would not be surprised though if it does swap because the sell is to sell on VR because presumably there's some sort of bonus, like they're picking that platform, they're giving some bonus rate on development, right? On fees as the exclusive. That's what exclusives are, right? So make it 2D devalues why you buy, because some people might buy the headset for the game. Makes sense. But in maybe a year they'll make it non-VR version if it's popular and worth the development and everyone can play it. It won't be as cool, but you can play it. So support it if you want to see it. Support it, and it might be 2D. That's why I tend to buy Trek games even if I'm not going to play them because
yeah, exactly.
how else are we going to get more of them? And luckily, this year might have some really good ones. But you got to support them, guys. You got to make it very clear because we do want more games. We need more games.
Yes, absolutely. All right, let's move on here to Ray Rick's £5. Avatar Legend of Korra was on Nickelodeon and had many complex themes. Yeah, Nickelodeon gets painted with this brush that it's very much all kids, like
Yeah.
younger kids shows, and that's not necessarily the case. I see the Nickelodeon logo and I think kids instantly, unfortunately. But yeah, when they're one of the people that are funding you to get the show made, they want to push it's a kids show. I mean, yeah,
And I would imagine they probably wanted a more kids show than they got. In a good
maybe.
way. Like they were going for one thing, and turns out Prodigy had a really strong idea of what they wanted to do. It wasn't a kids show; it was a Trek show that was, you know,
Yeah.
mm.
I'm just looking to see when Star Trek Online started. It was May 11th, 2014. So Star Trek Online's been
Wow.
around a long time.
Yeah. The only game with
Um,
all of the bringbacks and the canon and all the new
well,
shows, and yeah, wow.
that's the canon. Copious amounts of new ships, bringing back legacy characters. You got to give them a lot of credit. The fact that it's still doing its thing after all this time.
Yeah.
So that's a
I
good
mean,
thing.
it's unanimously obnoxious that every new ship is in a lockbox. You got to gamble to get. But guess what? Because you're not paying $6.99, you might be paying $80 to get it. That funds the game. So the annoyance funds the game and lets them make more things. So it's a,
Yeah.
yeah.
And Dan says the new VR game is supposed to be horror. Yes, absolutely it is. It's like a
Mhm.
zombie survival game,
With
essentially.
a Vulcan and I mean, conceptually it's excellent. Will it be excellent? Who knows? And we get to see the inside of a Defiant, which is such a wonderful.
Yeah.
That's great. Hopefully it will offer a free roam mode, so you could just walk around the Defiant, because they're probably going to have all the sets without the gross infection, you'd think.
Yeah.
Because would you pay, say it was on PlayStation, would you buy $10 more for a special edition to walk around the Defiant sets?
I would, yeah. I'd want more than just that though for $10.
Well, that was the sell though.
I know. But
I'd do that. I mean, it's a very small ship. It wouldn't take very long. And you mirror it, same set left to right.
so everybody's saying that Star Trek Online's been around since 2010. I just looked it up. Star Trek Online release date March 11th,
Oh, they're the open
2014.
beta. They're probably thinking there was the development before that,
Maybe.
which certainly is true. As in, I was in the open beta, and that probably went on for at least a year. And there's a
Yeah,
closed beta, so some people were probably playing it 2 years before,
well, it says
potentially.
it was this other article says it was released February 2010. And then in January 2012 it relaunched
Mm-hmm.
free to play.
Mm.
Then March 2014 the game was released for Mac. Okay, it was for Macintosh in 2014.
Mm.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, because they had one of the big cells. They had Quinto voicing a hologram in the tutorial, and that was quite a big get. I didn't link to the JJ, but it was like, hey, we got Quinto.
Yeah.
I was like, cool, good stuff.
Well, yeah, so thanks for pointing that out, guys. Um, yeah, but if you looking at it right here, March 11th, 2014. It's the first thing that pops up as a search. And it does say Mac underneath, but yeah,
You're not even on a Mac. It's not even like biasing you by
I know, right?
fiat.
All right. Let's see. Sean Carpier, $5. Also, until recently, NUTREK ships were lacking. I mean, yes. Starting in 2009 is when that started. It's got some good ships in Picard, season 2 and 3. Um, Star Trek Online has always been doing good stuff, modernizing or, retroizing ship designs to make them better. Prodigy was great. Lower Decks had some great ones too. The Parliament class, the Cerritos, sorry, the California class.
And if you saw the evolution of how they treated the models, you remember the season 2 Oberth, which is like, that's embarrassing. And then they get like the E at the end of season 5, etc. So they do a lot of good stuff.
Matt was at STLV 2008 when they announced Star Trek Online, and he bought a lifetime membership.
Yes. Is
All
that
the
still
lifetime
valid?
memberships. I don't know how. Yeah, I don't know.
Brilliant. Yeah, I also was there when Nimoy is meant to announce it, or like talk about it, but I didn't see it because we had to go. Which year was that?
Um, Sean
2007.
Carpier.
What? Really? No, that can't be right.
Sean Carpier throws in $5 and says, "I played the Voyager demo. I love it. I've got it sitting on my computer, and I haven't even played it yet."
Whoa! What the hell?
I know, right?
The hell? Why? You've had so much free time.
Because yes and no, I don't want to be in front of my computer all the time, so
hmm
I don't know.
It
If
it's
if they had a demo on the PlayStation, I would have played it, but I don't think they
and
do.
and
So
it's definitely in front of the PC kind of game. I did quote unquote die the first time I played it because you can run out of resources in that game if you don't understand how to play the game, like as if it was a demo and you've never played the game before.
yeah. We also got a PayPal from Kyle Swinderman. $50. Thank you so much, Kyle.
It helps
He
so
says,
much.
"Here's my donation again, so you get the full amount." Thank you. But bad writing has turned me off most. Even the best newer Trek has too many dumb moments and weak payoffs. The old shows weren't perfect, but they were far more thought-provoking. I want
Mm.
true golden era Trek sci-fi writing. Yeah, well, the problem with that is it's not an episodic format anymore. They used to have like two-parters, which was great. But now it's serialized, so there's one story that overarcs 10 episodes, which is a problem a lot of times. Um, you can get more thought-provoking stories when you're telling 26 of those in an hour-long format per season. You can also have some of the silly ones and, focus more on character development. I think that's one of the main things that's been lacking from new Trek is character development, especially in Discovery. Um, Picard, you get, the new like Eleanor and stuff, they didn't really get a lot of character development, and when they did, it was stupid. Like Girardi killing Maddox, and that everybody fine with it. And Seven, killing Bejazzle. Lots of silly things, right? Not good character development because you don't have enough time to tell a proper story. I mean, you do if your writing's good. Let's be honest.
Well, we just sat down and watched the Rick and Morty season. I mean, they cram so much good writing into 23 minutes. Absurd amount of story, normally well told, and even mid Rick and Morty is still better than a lot of shows. And this last season was pretty damn good. But Stuart, I ended the poll to start a new one. We asked a while ago, we had 106 votes, which is amazing. This is the big question of the live? Has Trek been good? Not great, not amazing, just good. Since 2007 overall. No, 73%.
The new poll is up.
Yeah.
Oh, did you watch Star Trek Prodigy? Yes, no, or what's Prodigy?
Right? Got to give the people options.
Yeah.
It's tricky because I think just like how the joke is made, on percentage, people aren't fans of the Matrix franchise. Because everyone loves 1, and people like 2 and 3 varying degrees, and 4 isn't great, although I quite enjoyed it. So if you don't like 2.5, then on percentage you don't like that. Or, same logic, Star Wars, if you only watch the movies and you don't like the prequels or the sequels, then percentage-wise you don't like Star Wars, right? Like, there's the odd technical metrics. So if people don't even watch the cartoons, the animated shows, then live action is all we have. It's such a weird set of qualities that you can be forgiven for just the interest dipping over time. And someone said to me yesterday, might have spawned this live, I don't know, maybe it was in my brain, Kurtzman destroyed Trek. So Kurtzman hasn't destroyed Trek, he's devalued the brand heavily. Because the explosion of content was huge. He got more shows out on his watch than Gene did or Berman. And more concepts, more eras, more characters. He did not more episodes, because of course, but more content. Very well. So really did a good job in that regard. But how much of it is a hit? Very little. And how much of it was a bigger hit than with the Zeitgeist? Just Picard season 3, really, that was it.
Yeah. Yeah.
and Discovery season 1 for the negative press. So, you know, it's if you just look at that, it's just yeah, it's weird to devalue the brand where so many people aren't even bothering to watch Academy because the interest is lower, and that's not an us thing, that's a you thing. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, you can't blame the fans for bad content or uninteresting content because we're not the ones making it. You know.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Hmm. And Foul HQ 47 says Elnor is not a bad character, just mismanaged. It's the same with most of the
Mm-hmm.
characters in Discovery as well as Picard.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's write an interesting bridge character, give them like 2 lines of dialogue and like a paragraph of backstory, maybe, and then never freaking use them. Like,
Well, you know, Arium could have been a great character had she had a character.
mm-hmm.
She just didn't. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
George says devaluing the brand is just a nicer way of saying he destroyed it. Come on. He didn't destroy it for me. I mean, new Star Trek stuff come out, I'll still watch it. And it hasn't taken any joy away from the old stuff.
No, that's the thing. I'm going to keep that distinction very strong here because destroyed would hurt the stuff that came before. You'd create an anti-sentiment.
Which Picard kind of did.
Which, well, Picard himself did.
Yeah.
But then luckily you end on a high, so it kind of, luckily, whatever. Devalue just means that the excitement for anything new is lower. But they didn't ruin TNG or any of that stuff. Whereas Star Wars is harder to watch the original trilogy knowing where they go in the sequels, how meaningless they all are.
Mm-hmm.
It hurts those. Same thing to watch like Palpatine. One of the points of six is that they win, but then he comes back, so it devalues their sacrifice hugely, right? They actively hurt the previous stories because one big story, and so it partially destroys the narrative. You know, it doesn't just devalue, it actually hurts them. Whereas Academy doesn't do anything to TOS, right, or Enterprise. So there's a distinction there, which is thankful. Yeah.
And Litany says, "Hey, are you still making fan films, Commander? I remember you did a pretty decent one with ships from all 5 Trek series."
The one I released in 2019. Well, I'm glad you watched that one. Yes, I released 34 films since. 9 in 1 year. Yes, go watch. About to launch Indiegogo hopefully next week to fund next year. So please do help if you can, because boy, it's going to be a year. It's going to be a year. And Stuart said not this next one, but the next one.
And Spirit 250D throws in $1. Thank you so much. It all adds up. We appreciate that.
It does.
Classic for real, $2. Elnor is the worst character, even more than Luton from Code of Honor.
Elnor's not bad. He's just a nothing burger. And he's obviously a bit dumb to think a sword is a good play against blasters. He's not very intelligent.
Yes. Moving on. There is a link there for Litany.
Yeah.
Click that.
We have fan films from TOS to TNG to Stuart's own experiences in TOS to Prodigy. We're the first Prodigy fan film in the world. We're the first Picard era fan film in the world. We're the first ones using Enterprise Gina fan film. First use the Voyager A in the fan film. First Prodigy fan series, etc. You know, yeah, a lot of good stuff. And multi-award winning too. So you know. Ooh.
Perfect. Beetle. Oh, sorry, that would be Kyle Swinderman again. $5. Star Trek should have the level of writing of Andor. Say what you will of it, but the Andor writing was top notch. It was. Andor was a bit of a slog for me each season. The first 3 or 4 episodes really dragged for me. Like I get it, I get the story, but it's very World War II. Just retelling World War II just in Star Wars land, which I mean, Star Wars has always been World War II.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I was bored of the first 3 Andor, but it was like I will keep watching this to see if it gets better. But then having got to like episode 8, like, oh, I'm so glad I watched the first 3. It's a weird show like that.
Mm-hmm.
But
all the seasons are like that too, in my opinion.
And I'm not going around seeing season 2 because busy. George says, I do enjoy the verbal gymnastics you two do to somehow try and swallow this new stuff. I mean, we're very blunt during the reviews. We're just doing summary stuff, but, you know, it just... The thing is, there's technicality, right? Like I said yesterday, you can call a lady beautiful, hot, cute...
Sultry, vivacious.
You know, sweet, lovely. They're all adjectives mean different things very subtly, but, you know... Scarlett Johansson isn't cute looking, but she's sexy, right? And Angelina Jolie isn't adorable. She'd stab you in the face if you betray her. Mr. and Mrs. Smith is very...
Yes. General Grievous is here, $2. Thank you so much, General. Elnor isn't smart. He should have been a Klingon.
That would have made more sense, in fairness. And actually, it could have been a Klingon Romulan
hybrid.
Yeah, with Klingon exterior but Romulan sensibility. So you've got the internal honor, baseline genetic code, blah.
DO77X says Academy has Tawny Newsom as a producer and writer. That's why there's a lot of Lower Decks humor in Academy. And it's funny because that's probably true, but a lot of the people complaining about the silliness of Starfleet Academy probably don't realize that. Then they might be fans of Lower Decks. I just think it's funny.
I'd love to know how much involved she was, because it's like Eugene Roddenberry is a producer on Discovery. Means nothing, right?
Yeah.
Had no impact. But yeah, I wonder if she was the one suggesting tiny references, internal jokes, that would track.
Like Almond Basket?
Well, that yes, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would make sense if she's the one who said, well, why doesn't, rather than random thing, use this thing that's clever. That would make sense why maybe it was more integrated in the universe than I was expecting, because she's, quote unquote, forcing it down their throats. I wonder. Because I don't think it feels like a Lower Decks production, but it has that extra spark that we like.
It's got moments and definitely background elements that are very Lower Decks. Like Almond Hamper's the perfect example.
But it's not
having an exocom.
Yeah, but it's not treated quite as silly, of course.
No.
But two more about my fan films comments, which are very nice. Fall says, I did like the Commander bringing in Emma Thorne to do his short films. I'll let YouTube crossovers like that. Yeah, how random, eh? And boy, she has an arc you guys don't even know. Although the first Indiegogo film is the Emma Thorne actual first film. So check out her origin story, which will be fun. And Litany says, the Captain's in a film? Question mark. And now I have to watch. I have to watch it anyway. Heck, I remember when Captain Foley was on Space and came on Sci-Fi Channel. Yes.
They're on twice.
Yeah, it's just great in this film. I know he doesn't think so, but he is great.
No.
He is great. Very commanding.
Matt Borman says, I think one of the biggest issues with discovering Picard season 1 and season 2 was that they tried to take a very thin plot. I think you mean thin plot, and stretched it over 10 episodes. The plots were at best a two-parter. I wouldn't say best a two-parter. I say 3-part, maybe 4. If you got 10 episodes, like have a 4-part main story, then a 2-part, and then maybe a 3-part. We've said that going through even Discovery, it'd be nice if they wrapped this up and then moved on to something else. But
well, there was never a problem with the amount of plot in Discovery season 1, 2, or 3. They had loads of plot. They just had more than the episodes would give them because they were doing odd things with timing. A Mirror Universe, introduction of a character, a Klingon War season 1, Pike, Enterprise, Sentient AI, a Cloud, Georgia in season 2, and season 3. The entire universe is different. So the plot-wise, they had loads. In 4 and 5 they were stretching, but one was pandemic and one was take your time, I guess. And because season 1 also had a lot of plot, it just wasn't well handled. The recycling of sets, so half the thing was the same. Season 2 was very light, but that's because again pandemic. So it's kind of, it's just how they handle it and interesting. Because you would think if you'd pitched a pre-TOS Mirror Universe story where we go in and blah blah blah, all they had to do though, Stuart, was it be the Defiant, and they find it. It looks like the Defiant from TOS. It is the Defiant from TOS, and they walk on Ticonderoga sets, and they like, wow. I always say that, but they could have. Imagine if that last part of that arc is they need to use their Define to help them escape. And it would have made total sense.
But
Just irrelevant of where they're on
yeah.
the timeline, would have made sense. Been great.
See, the thing is, and I keep saying this, they're never going to film on the Ticonderoga sets for multiple reasons. One of which is just the union, the union that builds things for the sets. Why, like, they didn't build it, so you're not going to be able to film on it, which is a shame. So yeah.
Although I wonder if maybe if the Union boss is a Trek fan, they might make it because there are a lot of exemptions, right? Like standing sets exist for everything. Going to a library is a standing set, right? So it's just a building. So obviously this exists in all worlds. And there's also a Laurel Canyon as a standing set. So there's obviously exemptions and forms you can fill out, but it's a bit more elaborate. Like you say, all of it is a standing set.
I mean, they built the Defiant Bridge in a weekend for Anymore Darkly, which is impressive as hell because it looked fantastic and shows you what you can do when you have money and like
Yeah.
whatever behind you, right? So
I mean, they just threw whatever money had to be.
yeah.
But of course, luckily, it was a TOS bridge. The shapes are kind of basic.
Yes, this is true.
And obviously, if you just hire, 50 people working. Yeah.
Although they overcomplicated the railing because to make a curved piece of wood is a lot more difficult than do the sectioned one of the Enterprise. So
Yeah. Yeah. Now you just 3D print it, wouldn't you? There'd be no more difficult to paint, and not necessarily in wood, but you could definitely 3D print that as 4 one pieces. Yeah. Boom, there you go. We got the rail. That would be interesting though to say rebuild the TOS bridge, but modern techniques with 3D printing being utilized. I wonder how easy it would be now.
Well, we have 38 people here and 38 likes. That's pretty awesome. But I think we can get more likes than that because I don't think everybody's hit like. So hit the like button. Make sure you're all subscribed.
Yes.
Come back and join us for any lives we do. Of course, we have my first reaction to the next episode of Starfleet Academy would be tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then, of course, our full breakdown and review on Friday. So join us for those at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Sorry.
And it's our first Discovery-style era Klingon episode of real Klingons. And we haven't had a Klingon episode since Stranger Worlds, of course, and they've worked for the most part. So this is probably our first Klingon episode, like solo, in a long time. So I'm excited, bit nervous, but I don't think they're going to break it that much. I have some mild hope, I will say. So do tune in for that. And of course, guys, we got probably 2 special Drunkyards Long Lives in February, although it's a short month. One at Drunkyards, celebrate with us, Things and Bobs, and another one special themed. So do tune in for that as well. You'd want to join in for both, or either, or neither, but not neither, both. Both. Just go both. It's easiest.
Both. Oh, come and join us.
Yeah.
Make us drunk.
Yes, well, that's true.
But they wanted her in a Fenris Ranger show. I wouldn't want a Fenris Ranger show. Like, it sounds like Power Rangers. It's just so stupid.
Also, the premise didn't make any sense. All the Federation fell, therefore a few civilians had these tiny fighter-sized ships, and they defended, but they were having trouble against one Romulan antique ship. She was losing.
Yeah.
Wow, we have 10 runabouts. It's like the Marquis, but super, super low-key. Yeah, I mean, it sounds cool. Like, the Fenris Ranger sounds fun, but yeah, it's such a terribly non-premise. They abandoned it basically immediately. Yeah, I would hate that with a passion.
Yes.
I don't hate things, but I would not enjoy it.
Dan asks a very good question. He says, what do you think about Trek merchandise? What it's been like since 2017. Kind of dog shit.
What Trek merchandise?
Well, we got the Factory Entertainment that's selling $25,000 fucking ships.
No, that's the other one. They do the $800 phasers.
One of them sells $25,000 ships, which is ridiculous.
Don't know the company name.
Cuts for car. You got Tommy, who's stepped up to the plate, giving us the TOS Enterprise, the refits on the way, and
although we're now in the 4th month of delays for their refit, they are definitely dropping the ball now. Even more.
Oh, we're making it up to you by adding purple warp chiller grills,
which is just a switch,
which is
a feature that was just
it's something they already had.
Well, that as well, but it's just a software thing because it's an LED strip. You just make it a different hue.
Yeah.
That is a bit sad though, because they are letting themselves down a bit because they promised November.
Yes.
I think they promised
Yep.
October as well, and it's going to February.
It's going to be March now, so
I
yeah,
don't even think it will be, to be honest.
I do.
I mean, there's almost 6 months.
Australia's Australia's Australia EB Games has already they put up a thing today for pre-orders for it, because they get it's shipped directly from the factory in China and it's different distribution in Australia, so they got a thing for pre-orders already for it, which
As in
means like
buying pre-orders?
yeah,
So they're making more than they sold.
I don't know how that works
Yeah.
necessarily, but
Huh.
I was reading the comments and the Aussies are happy.
Hmm.
So anyway.
Hmm.
And so yeah, and then also master replicas, kind of
Mm-hmm.
picking up the Eagle Moss,
Mm-hmm.
gauntlet and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
advancing that, although very pricey, weird system. They do shipping's a problem. It's just
Well, I mean, great for us. Great for us in Europe. The problem with the ships, they've always been ship models. It's like Hallmark. They've never stopped doing ships. I'm not going to include the ships as merch because they've always been a thing. Other merch, right? Where's the uniforms? And there has been some, but but where's
where's the toys?
where's the toys?
Props.
Well,
You
although I
get
will,
high-end props like one company.
well, yeah, but they weren't props. They were TV remotes that they legally could not call. I will say though, Factory Entertainment, who you mentioned, they've just announced this last week, or this last week, the Klingon communicator from Star Trek 3, and previous props
Nice.
they've done, the Dustbuster and these Star Trek Strange Worlds phaser and like the rifle, are all very expensive because they're metal. More detailed than they would need to be, but I guess that's just the style they do. This prop, however, is resin. And the Stranger Worlds phase, I think, was like £700. So that's like 1,100 American dollars, which is a lot for a phase. It's a hero prop, fine, but that's outmost was reach. This communicator is only £184. So that's about $290, $300, which is a lot, but it's affordable for a hero. You know what I mean? Like a resin replica, that's actually an okay price.
Like 550 or $80 Canadian, something ridiculous. That's starting to get a little too much.
But it's not too much. It's a CAD. No, 344 Canadian.
That's not bad. That's good.
That's what I'm
a
saying.
good
For one-to-one replica, that's a good price. It's not a great price, but it's a good price. So I hope they make more resin replicas, because get that price down, guys. Start selling more props. You're gonna make bank.
Yeah. Classic for real, $2. Patrick Stewart versus Stuart Foley. Stewart versus Stewart. Dun dun dun. I'd be down. I'd be down for that. Sean Corpier, $5. Don't forget Eagle Moss, rest in peace.
How can
Oh, we mentioned it. Yeah.
Yeah, they overextended.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mark Lawrence is here. Good to see you, Mark.
Mark!
$5. If you skipped Prodigy, you did yourself a large disservice. Absolutely. It is the best of the new Trek, in my opinion.
Season 2 not as good as Season 1?
No, but definitely fleshed out and made of sort of unlikable, forgotten character much, much, much better.
I feel like if you condense the Prodigy story of the 40 to like 30 episodes, it'd be the hands down the best. Those 10 lower the average a bit more. Like I'm summarizing, but I would say 30. Like, wow, this is a good thing, but yeah, it's not a bad thing.
There's also some episodicness going in there, so I really appreciate that. I wouldn't want it whittled down because I kind of like
but it's also heavily
the overarching story mixed in with the episodic.
It's an interesting beast. You should go watch it. And I do appreciate. I think part of why Strange Worlds is getting more love is because it is also episodic. There's very minimal arcs to the point of being Pike's knows his own future. No, he's this way, so we won't talk about it. Oh, okay. The Gorn threat with La'an. Nah, she doesn't talk about it very often. Oh, the PTSD threat and problem of Ortega's. Nah, she's mentioned that twice. Oh, great. Mention we need to. Moving
on. Matt says, or asks, which 10 episodes of Prodigy didn't you like, Sam?
It's not so much that, it's 10 episodes worth of narrative I could cut to make it tighter and more engaging. or like have a twist that don't need to happen. It's just more about, or maybe like seven episodes worth of content.
Like there's the holodeck episode, which is fine, I guess, but it teaches the kids problem solving. Like all of the episodic elements tie into the overarching story as character development beats.
Yeah, I probably
So
I just cut some of the solemn stuff. Just
the solo
a little bit of it, or just
Yeah.
find it down. I don't know. It wouldn't be hard to do because it's not that much content out of 40, as in you just bit here, bit there, you know. It's like I think was it Elijah Wood who did a Star Wars prequels edit himself, and he turned all 3 movies into like 2.5, and he showed it to some actors that are very famous, and they were like, "This is the best prequel I've ever seen." But he only shows it physically in person to people.
Elijah Wood, if he could. So I hear.
Now that deserves $1 shame super chats. You know, no, 99 cents. Everyone, super chat 99 cents for that. Just wonderfully dad humor.
Well, Kyle Swinderman throws in $20. Again, you should be doing this on PayPal. Kyle,
This is true.
Because we get more of it.
That would be, yes.
But he says Fan Home is pretty good with what they're doing, but much like James Bond merch, it's either crap that no one wants or extremely high-priced props. Needs a mid-range like Art Asylum, Diamond Select. I do have all of the Exo 6 stuff, and it's amazing. Yeah,
I forgot Exo 6. I mean, there's beautiful stuff. It's worth the money, but it's very expensive. Which is a hard. Yeah, no, I agree. They need Diamond Select back. They absolutely need that.
And then Diamond Select was working on a Miranda. They were working on a Reliant, which was teased. You see the images of it occasionally, and it's just never solidified.
Because I guarantee if Diamond Select or a company like them could release every single Star Trek phaser, similar plasticky light quality, fine, to the TOS phaser from the olden days and the Enterprise one, I like the $35 mark for a phaser and maybe an extra piece of something, whatever. They would sell, because why wouldn't you buy a $35 accurate Cobra head phaser? I mean, 30 if you can, of course, but most of these are going to be adults buying them, right? But I would buy, even though I own all the phasers, I would probably buy just so I have one of each, because there's no reason they couldn't get the sizes right. They're easy reference. Just do all of them, and then maybe each one's a unique piece. Like I said, maybe the Cobra head, you can take the bit out and you see inside. The Nemesis, you open up and it has a static like glowy thing. You can do something with all of them. That'd be great, and you'd absolutely sell. I mean, every cosplayer would buy them because they would be the ones to buy, right? Yeah. And then you make the Kelvin one, you make the JJ. Just do them all, and you could totally do it. It annoys me because the phasers and tricores are the easiest of sells, and we never had good fan replicas except the Enterprise phaser phase pistol and the TOS ones, which of course were then both used in Enterprise as hero props, or as in screen used ones, because they're that good. Yeah.
Ronald Anderson throws in $1 for my dad humor, so thank you so much, Ronald. Appreciate that.
Somebody likes that doesn't like it. Excellent.
And Classic for Real throws in $5. Sing along, Stuart and Sam. I'll do it because he won't. Go Fenris Rangers. Go Fenris Rangers. New Mighty Morphin Power or Fenris Rangers. Mighty Plot Device Fenris Rangers. Yes. Perfect.
Classic, remind us on our drunk yards after like 3 hours, because making like an AI image of Seven in a First Ranger costume as a Power Ranger mix, and then AIing that with her singing that would be very entertaining. Remind us of that, because that, yeah, that would be fun. Okay, hands up in the chat now. Say, would you buy a $30 TNG plastic phaser? Would you buy a Nemesis $30? Would you buy is that the level price point? I think that's very fair, because it's going to be more expensive than it used to be. But like, would you buy every single phaser?
Cheap.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep it affordable, right? I mean, it is plasticky. It looks nice, but it is light. Like, would you buy would you even buy Dustbuster for 30, even though you don't like it that much?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
but like, we're unique in that regard. Like, I think out of the large percentage of Star Trek fans, like, we can even take a poll here. Like, how many of you would be that dedicated that you'd buy all the phasers? I mean, there's fans, there's fans, and there's fans, and then there's fans that would do that, right? Like small percentage, I think.
I mean, most people would buy at least one kind of
Most
thing.
people buy their favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, obviously they have
Mm.
metrics on who bought the TMP one and such. But it's just annoying because it's such an obvious thing to sell. That's the thing, right? 2017, Trek was back, and they did not want to double down on merch from the old stuff in a new wave. Had they been really smart, they would have launched Discovery with a brand of affordable uniforms that were just available for all the eras. You know, pre-planning this, right? Trek's back. You can get the old, you can get the new, you get the fake. Like they could have started like this big back to the world, and they doubled down Discovery only with merch and stuff with the phaser, and the interest was so little that half that stuff collapsed because it couldn't. Their interest wasn't there. You know.
That's the thing. I was looking forward to the
Mm.
McFarlane Discovery phaser as much as I didn't really enjoy Discovery
Mm.
all the
Yeah.
time. The phaser was pretty cool, and I was looking forward to getting it. Had a I don't know if it was a pre-order or a sign up for the
Mm.
pre-order, but I'd done that, and then it kind of fizzled out.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, it was a sign of things to come, I guess, because that they never really. I mean, I would love. I Playmates has made a Burnham figure, a small one, a Saru figure. They're on sale at Toys R Us for like $4.99. Where the TNG ones of the same color, the same size and everything were $14.99 on sale. Nobody bought them. Personally, I would love a Tilly figure. Get your mind out of the gutter.
Although which
Um,
season of Tilly? Because you changed radically between them.
one or two, season one or two. Um, I'd get a Stamets. I like Stamets.
Mm-hmm.
I'd get characters I like. I get Lorca for sure. Um, but yeah, I mean, they dipped their toe in, but they didn't give people anything that people wanted. So as a result, nothing sold, which means they just kind of fizzled out.
Well, they had an odd thing. I'm trying to find it now, but if I recall that XO6 being a good example, that they maybe to this day, maybe not, they had okay, so they still have they did do so XO6, the company that makes the miniatures, very good, and they've done loads and they're very, very wonderful. They have done 3 Discovery figures since they started. Burnham and
Mm.
Cyrus were close to production, close, and they just last like 6 months to a Giorgio. Cool. And normally the rule that the chap that runs it says, if you want an XO6 figure, you must pre-order it because they only make so many based on the pre-order, and then they will never make a second one unless something radical happens, and they might. But this is why often they got like 50% in value, because if you miss it, you miss it, right? Now, every figure is different, but you can buy currently the Discovery Cyrus and Discovery Michael Burnham on their website today. They never sold out. 5 years later, so the interest is so low, and I've not made any more. Just worth saying, and they're $215, and I believe every other figure is more than that, just as a default. So they had to lower the price or be whatever.
Mm.
I'm just saying, it's, I want to, they never did sell out. Just saying.
Let's see what you guys are saying.
Mm.
Shades of Slay. I love that name, by the way. Throws in 10 pounds.
Thanks so much.
Some new Trek has been okay, but Paramount lacks the courage of Star Wars to stick to visual continuity. They chase cool at the
Mm.
expense of cohesion. It's a real shame because retro is becoming cooler. Absolutely agree with you.
Mm.
Yeah, the way they portrayed the X-Wings and stuff in The Mandalorian, spot on. All the interiors are exactly the same, all the computer displays, same with the Imperial stuff. It just, it's what it was, it's what it is. And you're right, they didn't gloss it over with shiny new floors and fancy buttons and
Well, can you imagine the reaction of Star Wars fans if suddenly in Rogue One there was fully big, like a wall of LED fancy displays and everything was hologram? Like every element
yeah.
exists in Star Wars. The holograms, but they have their own place, and you can't mix them very much because they're distinct. So if the X-Wing suddenly had like one big flat black plane with buttons that had holograms, and it's the same thing, people would not go see it on purpose because this is not my Star Wars.
Not my Star Wars.
But and Rogue One cared so much they made a shitty Darth Vader uniform costume. It's so bad it's distracting. You can see the actor's eyes through it because that's what was New Hope. It was bad. It was not, it's so bad it's distracting. You can see the helmet piece wiggle because it's not well constructed because they replicated the original one, which is not well constructed. Whereas in Obi-Wan, they did a hybrid of all like 9 versions. I watched a BTS and it's like a really interesting, unique one. Like the cape's less dense because he has to fight. There's loads of little logic pieces that affect it. That like it's unique but also faithful. It would be nice to get one thing that was like that. Just one. Even Picard season 3, that damn color grade on the walls wrong. It all feels wrong.
Richard Lau throws in 10 pounds.
Oh my god.
Strange how the Romulan supernova was debatably one of the biggest events in Trek, but they haven't really went deep into it, or the Romulan Free State, or the remnants of the Romulan Empire. Sure. That's because it only impacted the Prime universe, and we're not in the Prime timeline anymore. It's fine.
But Kyle, back for a second, he has all the X06 releases, including multiples of Picard, outfits, and Cisco, but doesn't have a single Discovery one. How many uniforms do I own, Stuart, would you say?
48.
How many Discovery ones do you think I own?
0.
Correct.
I mean, even Red Letter Media has some Discovery ones. I recently watched again their Discovery season 2, whatever, and it's like, yeah, I'm gonna build this out of this and this and this. And what about our hull plating? It has this and this, and we can actually, yeah, it's fucking hilarious. It's exactly how season 2 was. Everything was easily fixed.
People talk about it like it's great, but it wasn't. There's more plot holes. Remember, they forgot what the other 2 Red Angel signals were until the last episode. Oh shit, we'll just have them be this and this. It's like, yeah, you did not know what they were and start writing. You can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the Supernova, yeah, I do agree. But there's obviously 2 versions. There's the version in JJ which almost destroyed the galaxy, and there's the version in Picard which destroyed Romulus and no other risk. As in the Romulus system a bit more. They shrunk it hugely. But either version you think would be talked about more. And it's just ignored.
Like the burn. The burn's been talked about more than the goddamn supernova. There's a bigger area of coverage, but
as if logically destroying one's home system is not the end of the world with 5 years warning. It would suck to lose Earth, but with 5 to 7 years warning, you could evacuate most people and then be fine. There's no reason it'd be symbolically horrible. I'm sure there'd be millions say, I will not leave. Okay, you do you, but it's much less dire a threat if it's several, and they say it's years out. There was no immediate danger.
We have 64 people currently watching, so that's awesome. Make sure you subscribe to the channel.
And 64% on our poll.
Oh.
I know, so we can end it there, I think.
But we only have 50 likes.
Oh, what?
So some people haven't hit like yet. So let's get those likes up to 70 or 75.
How's that possible?
75. I mean, people aren't hitting like. They don't like what we're talking about.
Well,
or we rub them the wrong way, maybe.
I want to see a like spike then, because you've been called out. You want at least 3 more. But the question was, did you watch Star Trek Prodigy? One of the most fantastic new shows. Luckily, 63% yes, 36% no, and 1%, so one person was Prodigy. Okay, cool. Okay, but I was there for you, person. I was there for you.
Yeah. Hell rats. The thing I hated most about Disco was all the altar calls. Season 3, they
Wait, what
working
does
to
altar
decipher.
calls mean?
I don't know.
Oh.
That's what I'm going to keep reading so I can maybe figure it out. Probably a call from the altar, like a priest, like somebody standing on their soapbox, maybe. Season 3, they work to decipher new alien language, and they all have to take a sideline to cry and talk feelings. Maybe that's what altar calls is. I don't know. Could also be a spelling mistake or something. Anyway, yes.
No, they're not me, Stuart. Welcome.
I can't wait to talk about the next 7 episodes of Akam Starfleet Akam.
You're welcome.
Shades of Slay puts in £5. Captain Foley, lots of love. Lots love my name. Just hit 30K YouTube subs. Nice.
Whoa, that's loads. I mean,
yeah.
Thank you for the support, of course. Pimp your channel more. Feel free to say what you do.
I'm gonna go look at the channel right now.
Also, special Fort New Vegas, 26,000 views. Brilliant. You like your thumbnails too.
You got a new subscriber from me. I will check out some of these videos later.
I do like Fallout. Nice. Yeah.
Nice.
Shades of Slay. Cool. Very dramatic.
Everybody go check his channel or their channel and subscribe. Let's help them out.
What's the next poll be, Stuart? Because these are really good discussions. What should be the next poll to get some thoughts on?
Well, I mentioned a poll earlier, maybe seeing which percentage of people would get all of the phasers should they become available.
Okay, I'll do like a amount of phasers. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Ronald Anderson throws in $5. Has anyone seen recent pictures of Avery Brooks? Does he look the same? I wish he could come back. Not recent, no. The most recent one that I just rewatched again was The Captains, the documentary, where
That's
Shatner
like
goes and visits him.
9 years ago?
Quite a while, yeah. And he's like, zibbity doo ba zoo on the piano. Yeah. It is sad. Shades of Slay says, thanks, fellas. Been a fan for years. Well, thank you. Yeah. We'll be definitely checking out your videos though.
But at least at least Avery's legacy, he went out on a high.
Yes.
I mean, talk about a genre-defining performance as Cisco.
He's just a god now.
Well, yeah. I mean, that'll be a legacy forever.
Yeah.
But I certainly wish, had we known that he would just retire from the universe, that I would have made more effort to really push my dad to have us meet him at the one event he did in the UK, where all the captains, because Bacular's never done one in the UK again. I mean, he's also peace out to people. But yeah, I haven't seen a picture of Brooks
in the 20. He'll be coming back in Star Trek United, so he'll have a chance again.
Yeah, but I haven't seen a picture of Brooks in at least a decade, I would say.
Yeah.
He's 77 now, so he's getting near 80, which is, yeah.
Dan Ben, Star Trek Lower Decks told us what happened to the Thomas Riker in season 4. He was being transported to Earth due to random attacks, but we don't know what happened to him after. Yes. We also have the lady from Lower Decks. Sato? I forget her name. As one of his prison mates. Be great. Let's see. Ronald Anderson, $5. Oh, sorry. Just read that one. Never mind. Forget me. Renatus says, what are the best entry-level models of ships to get into? Who sells them? It depends. I mean, if you want models, go to round 2. But you have to build those. So those are quite well priced. They're not too expensive. They're not too extravagant. You just have to have the model making know how to get them together and look good. If you want assembled ones, Master Replicas is probably your place to start because no one else really sells. I mean, they took over what Ecomoss did essentially. There's Tomy as well for diecast, but they're quite expensive. So, and they're pre-ordered ones. So yeah. And anyone you find on the secondary market is like twice or triple the price of what it was initially. So, actually, just go into your local marketplace or whatever, like Facebook. I always see like Ecomoss Star Trek ships on there. Yeah, you can probably get some good prices.
Yeah, I'm looking at press images, and his last might actually be the convention in 2012 that I was at in London. I found a 2011 of him at a local event near him. I mean, he looks the same, you know, but that was 14 years ago. I mean, I believe still professoring at where he's professoring, but, you know, maybe not all the time, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, poor lad.
Dan Ben says apparently Academy episode 5 is where they have the DS9 tribute. Yes. Yeah, apparently that's the one. I'm looking forward to it. Next one is going to be Klingon centric, and then the one after that is DS9. So Litany says been fun. Have to go. Get those likes up, crew. I can feel Star Trek is about to turn a corner with a new non-Star Trek Discovery direction. Cheers. Thank you, Litany. Thank you for joining us.
It's just funny because the one thing they've not done in Star Trek for a long time is a pure weekly exploration alien planet show.
They tried with Strange New Worlds, but it didn't last very long.
But they use gimmicks as their hook.
Yes.
Which is fun as like 2 out of 10 episodes. But when it's 7 out of 10 and then 2's a two-parter with no gimmick that's being rushed. And the gimmick is overriding the everything else. Because TNG wasn't really gimmick based a lot of the time. I mean, crazy, but not gimmick in the same way.
Yeah, no. But again, you had more time to play with your characters and your just stories because you had 26, right?
Yeah, but that's why Stranger Worlds is one of the better shows because they at least, and then it's hit and miss if you like the concept or not, right? You know, if you hate musicals, you might hate the episode. That's fair enough.
Yeah,
it's so tricky because is Trek good overall since 2007? I think on average, no. But that's because for me, the contrasts are so strong. The low points have been so unbelievably low that are surprising that even if they were bad canon, they're not even good TV shows or movies. It's surprising Section 31 got made. It's surprising because Season 1 got made. It's surprising Discovery was allowed to be made the way it was. Like, these are surprisingly so bad, I'm surprised they got made, right?
Section 31 and Picard were both based on names. Michelle Yeoh and Patrick Stewart. That's why those ones got made. Let's be honest. As far as Discovery, I mean, that was an unknown at the time because there had been no new Trek since 2009. So going back to like a TV style format and such an interesting take, not focusing on the bridge crew, is going to focus on, you know, like it had an interesting vibe at first. So it got made because it was going to be something cool and interesting, and then it got totally corrupted because of Brian Fuller leaving and the vision changing, and each season having different people in charge. It kept changing course too often.
And it would have been interesting to see his original vision. It might have been worse canon wise, but it might have been better thematic wise. It was definitely. I mean, say what you want about the first 3 compared to the last 3. They're more cohesively shit. Right?
Yeah.
What? Oh, but they're cohesive in their shitness. And then they're not.
It's important.
Well, yeah. Double down on the shit. And then not giving you for another season. Yeah. So I think, like I said, the contrast points. And Lower Decks can't have the same impact as a live action show. Because you can't take it seriously. And therefore, what it does for the world and what it does do for the world can't have the same weight. And also, they throw so many random jokes in that might be real that it's hard to keep track of. Whereas if you see live action, they have to film it a certain way with more effort. They stick more, Like we remember Icheb getting brutally murdered by Seven, or saved, whichever one.
Well, she didn't do it,
but there's so many things though that it's like, oh yeah, that happened. Doesn't have the same impact. There's not people filming it, and that's fair enough. But it would be interesting to go in and break down the seasons, because even Lower Decks was what's the right phrase for its quality? Straddling a curve. Their best seasons were not their last seasons, but they weren't bad, right? It wasn't improving quality as time went on. It was doing.
It was constant out of the gate, and that's the problem. Because when we were reviewing it, it was hard because a bad Lower Decks episode is still a good episode.
But they were more likely doing average near the end than good.
Yeah,
They were
yeah.
misfiring more than they were firing while still being fine. That's what I'm saying.
But if it had been in any other series, it would have been like eights and nines. Because it was Lower Decks and we were used to the quality, it felt more mid. Like some of the mid episodes of Lower Decks would have been like high points in Discovery. Um, it's just a different metric, and it's hard to like keep that in mind all the time, right? So, um, Dan Ben says some people working on New Trek would say the first female captain was Janeway, but Trek fans would say Star Trek 4. Ah,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Yeah, first black female captain too.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And season 1 TNG, second black female captain.
Yep. And she was the youngest captain to go into Starfleet, so
Yep.
she beat Kirk's record.
Yep. And nothing made of it, because why would they?
Yeah.
Wasn't Joy's mum a captain too?
Yep.
Yeah,
Oh, I don't, yeah, she was. Yeah.
I know she was
I'm
dead.
gonna
In
say
flashbacks,
not a Starfleet ship, but it was a Starfleet
Yeah.
ship.
And she was dead for some of it. But
Yeah.
she was a captain, you know.
Yeah.
And second captain in Starfleet Federation was a lady with Columbia.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Which is good because turnabout intruders, I think that was just a perception thing.
Yeah, she was mad.
Yeah.
You know?
So go vote on the poll if you haven't already, guys. 22 votes. Would you purchase plastic but accurate phasers for $30?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let's see, we have 46 of you here, so.
Not a lot of votes, though. Vote. It would be interesting, though, as an experiment, to take Discovery Season 1 and Picard Season 1, Season 2, and see if you could break it down into one edit of like a movie, and if it's good. You know what I mean? Could you pull out... Because there's got to be an hour and a half worth of good in roughly 8 hours of content.
Even a 2 hour or 2.5 hour movie.
That's what I'm wondering, right?
From all that content, I think would be absolutely doable.
Yeah.
We talked about that many times at the time. Just tightening, well, you specifically because you're an editor, but tightening things up, and I think absolutely you could do that. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. I'm surprised people haven't. Maybe they have actually. I don't know.
Because Discovery is such a weird beast. You know, Season 1 specifically. Like, could you reorganize it into something good?
Yeah.
Like actually, like objectively good. I wonder.
And Maze says Lower Decks is the best modern day Trek. Unfortunately, it's a cartoon. No, Prodigy is the best modern day Trek, but it is also quote unquote a cartoon.
Well, Prodigy is the best story. Lower Decks is the most fan friendly because the variety of stuff, right?
Yeah.
It's the most Trekky Trek. Prodigy is the most story Trek. Strange Worlds is the most classic Trek. With a coat of paint of new. Picard is the most insulting Trek, and Discovery is the most canon breaking Trek.
Yeah.
And Station 31 was the least Trek. And Academy is is it the try hardest? Because I felt Lotus didn't have to try, they just was good Trek. Academy is like they're trying hard, but not the right tone or style for everybody. Does that make sense?
Kind of, yes.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find a better way to say it.
Yeah, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
In that very specific, subcategory or subcategory. But I will say that I appreciate that when we started this live, we weren't getting just no's. I appreciate people actually, right? We're bringing with conversation pieces, and I do appreciate that. I wasn't just a tirade of no's.
Speaking of that, we got BJM Half Hand says, good Trek since 2017. Nope, none at all. In fact, Trek hasn't been good or even Trek since Enterprise was canceled.
Well, there you go. Ah.
Wow.
Okay,
Oh,
I've
yeah.
got another idea for a poll because obviously can't necessarily jumping on the fade on, which is fine. But the winner is still all of them, and then 1 to 3. So 2 extremes, but people always buy 1 because why wouldn't you, right?
Mhm.
Okay, another question.
Oh, Rat says, I wish they could remaster DS9 and release it on Blu-ray. I would buy it in a heartbeat. It'll happen eventually, despite what everybody says. Voyager and DS9 will both get remastered and be high def, or even if it's all 5 years from now, AI advanced shit that's doing it, it'll get done. I remember there was a time they said they wouldn't be able to remaster TOS because it'd be too expensive per episode. So to show you how fucking old I am. Anyway, uh, the Matt Boardman, not just Matt Boardman, says, for me, even the worst of things, you can find some good in them. Does that cancel out the overall not so great? It doesn't, but the challenge is to find something good in there. Absolutely. But most people won't, okay, most people don't want to wade through what they consider shit to find the good.
Only so much life with kids
Yeah.
and stuff. You've got an hour of TV you can watch a
Yeah.
night. Why watch a bad show?
Like, like if you had a septic tank full of shit, but you know that there's like a gold bracelet down there, a diamond wedding ring. You got to wade through it all to find it. Some people wouldn't do that. Still. Anyway, yeah. It's just their perception of it, right? Class Hero reminder that people said Enterprise, Voyager, DS9, and TNG weren't real Trek. Yeah, TNG actually lambasted when it first came out. Not
Fucking
my
thing
Star Trek.
crashed.
No, no Kirk and Spock. Brr, grr, I'm not going to watch it. So, 100%.
I can't remember. I was like last word of my poll, and I've already forgotten what the poll was about because I was so focused in the like number of letters correct.
Oh,
Can't
shit.
remember what I was going to do, and then it crashed. But I want to say about the remastering. That's a real problem though, and at the time for that to be successful is almost past because Babylon 5, right? They remastered the live action and it was glorious, and they did not bother with the CGI in any forms. It's AI upscaled.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, AI upscaling is getting better now. That even old films for the 4Ks are getting AI improvements, which go against the well, Doctor Who. There's a big example, right? The latest Doctor Who, heavily AI upscaled to fake detail than just presenting the thing with a standard upres, not up detail. There's a difference. Upres just sort of sharpens it a little bit with some basic tools, whereas AI adds new details that were never there, like new fingers and wrong teeth and whatever. So
Yeah.
I could see them now, unfortunately, saying, "Oh yeah, well either AI is so good, we'll just AI upscale all DS9, which would not be true detail, and all the stuff that was like in the background panels just gone, like it would never return, despite the footage existing." Or at the very least, quote unquote, all the CG just AI upscaled, which is a shame because then again, it will be technically what it was, which is nice, but it won't actually improve, it'll just be cleaned up and in a way that will change things. And then, same thing with Stargate SG-1. It was given a Blu-ray release, but it was just low-key AI upscaled. It was technically a Blu-ray, and in some scenes it is better, because some scenes it actually, the algorithm worked quite well. But it's also just a smooth for the sake of it. It's not real. It's just easier to watch on a big screen, not a real upres. And we'll get to the point where AI is so easy, they'll do that instead.
Yep.
And it'll be technical on Blu-ray, but it'll not actually have any additional quality, true quality. And that'll be a shame. So we're kind of like going over to that window. Like Babylon 5, but for everything.
Well, Ray Ricks throws
Oh,
in £5.
thank
I
you.
waded through the septic tank. It was called season 1 of Disco. I'd say more of the later seasons kind of stretch things out as well. There's a lot of septic tank. And
Okay, I know there's more super chats. Quick question to you though. If we were not doing reviews, genuinely, right? Back in season 1 Discovery, would you, or what episode do you think you would have stopped watching the night
I
of?
wouldn't have.
No,
I
the night
wouldn't have.
of. Like, make like appointment viewing. As soon as you woke up, watch it. Versus whenever you can.
I would watch that night.
Okay, either
The night
way, it
of
was.
it being
Okay,
released.
either way. Okay.
Yeah, that's how I am.
Yeah. Because I've not
Well,
watched
unless
Mandalorian
something,
season 3 because it's not so great. I've not made the
I
point
mean, you
to.
say that, but you haven't watched it, so you can't make that a determination.
Well,
You're just going off what other people have said.
I mean, huge amount of consensus. It's the worst season by a substantial margin, so I'm not in any hurry to watch it.
Yeah, but
Clearly,
worst season doesn't mean it's bad. I enjoyed a lot of season 3 for The Mandalorian.
yeah, but one was universally praised. So if the it's like with Picard, like most put on season 2, you can trust it a little bit. Whatever. I've not found that. Well, I've got to go watch it because I've got better things to do. At least most of the time, which is fine. But yeah,
Solaris Long Hollow Rail fan throws in $5.
thanks so much.
Hey guys, so how many of the crew of TOS DS9, STV, TNG, Star Trek Discovery are still with us? A lot.
Ooh,
TOS, I mean, there's like 2 left.
as the three mains. I mean, TNG, you've got everybody, which is remarkable. Even Pulaski still,
DS9, you're missing Odo.
and Nog,
Yes, yeah.
and all the Bajoran, Kyle Parker and such. But Goldicott's still here, even though he's very old. Voyager, everybody, except Kess, who is alive but unknown.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're doing well. Babylon 5 is a show where.
The curse.
Yep. And that show was 90s. So it was, yeah. I mean, what we need is the Enterprise Picard season 3, because they're all old enough to be old, but still, with a bit of hair dye, they all look like older themselves. But they're, Voyager, yeah.
The Mad Boardman throws in $10. So thank you so much, Matt. So it's so true. One of my friends who was a PA on TNG said that he used to have to field phone calls from people who were quite violent in their dislike of TNG at the time. Yeah, and it didn't have the internet to amplify everything. So you had like articles in Starlog magazine with people writing in saying they didn't like it, and so you didn't get all of that hate necessarily that you could have access to. But yeah, the same thing happened with TNG at the time.
But it's odd because, I mean, TNG season 1 is not good, and if you look at how good the movies were compared to TNG, it's a huge step down in quality. Or TOS. So I get it. If you're a TOS fanboy and you love the 66 episodes, or 69, TNG season 1 is trash in comparison, right? So that is true. As in trash relative. There's obviously good stuff, but it's such a step down. You would think they made a good show. It took them a while to find that footing, of course. So if you on a pure quality level, it's like, yeah, it's much worse than TOS was. Okay, fine. But it's a different year. It's the future. Like I never got that, but I guess obsessives who can only like one set of heroes. I guess.
Well, there was no new Star Trek show. It was the idea of having a Star Trek show that was set in a different time with a bald captain. That was a big thing at the time too.
But why is that innately bad? I don't get the link.
It's not. But you're not understanding the mindset. There was no spin-off shows, so it was like, this is what I liked. I don't want it changed. This is what I like. Don't change it. Don't fuck with it.
It's not a change. It's something new.
Yes, but that's not how people in that mindset see it. Nowadays, when reboots and spin-offs are like a dime a dozen, the mindset is, oh, it could be really good.
So the logic is fans would only have accepted a kind of fat Shatner, McCoy, and Nimoy returning for a TV show that after the movies or during the movies. That would be the logic, right? TNG should have been a new TOS series, but now Wrath of Khan uniform. That's it.
The movies. You have the movies. Let's make a show with Kirk and Spock and have it be on TV.
Yeah. Do you think they would have bitched if it was like Savick and Sulu, because it's still those people? Or they said not my Star Trek, even though it's just the same characters continuing.
That probably would have been accepted much. That would have been accepted much better for sure. But
still, no Kirk, no point.
Well, he could show up though.
Yeah, well, yeah, but not as the lead or anything.
But like a show 100 years in the future, why would I want that? I mean, that's just going to be all stuff I don't know, people I don't know. Yeah,
but my brain says, why wouldn't I like that?
Yeah, but you're from a different era.
I know. I'm also more open-minded, in fairness. We like Academy, Stuart. We're obviously open-minded. Come on.
I've known you for a long time. I don't know if I'd say open-minded is the phrase I would use for you.
Oh. Rip.
Yeah. Sissy Scout Guy Stuart, I remember when TNG came out and people hated the idea of Worf and a Klingon in Starfleet. Yep, that's called racism or speciesism.
In fairness, they were
Yeah.
always villains, and if he was a Klingon from TOS, he'd be obnoxious, but he isn't.
Yeah.
Guess what? He grew up a different time. He's a different guy. No shit.
Richard Lau, £5.
Thanks much.
A little bit off topic, but
Ooh.
what direction would you like Star Trek to go now?
Oh, good question.
We've talked about this multiple times.
Good question. You know, I'll rephrase it for him. What direction if it had to be something new? So you can't just say an Enterprise Romulan War thing. You can't. It has to be something new, as if they're saying
Open up the
genuine.
Lost Era.
Well, that's not new. That's that's
Give
old.
us a brand new ship with a brand new crew in the Lost Era. Let's explore those 80 years ish.
You saying you didn't like Section 31 in the Lost Era? Brand new ship and brand new crew?
I'm gonna jump through this camera and bitch slap you, boy.
I was literally thinking he's gonna bitch slap me. I'm so glad you said that. That's literally what I was thinking. Excellent. But if you couldn't say Wrath of Khan era, because that's not new, what new would you do?
Something post Nemesis.
That is new.
Yeah.
But post Picard or pre Picard? Like
Picard doesn't exist.
Okay. Fair enough.
I would just right after Nemesis, the events of Nemesis, just have another crew, different ship, move on from there. Because that's the only way to do it. Don't shoehorn something into an existing timeline and fuck everything up. As much as you got the nostalgia bait, as they say, or whatever, with that, no. Or an anthology show. I think an anthology show would be great, which is literally every episode is a different era, different ship, different crew. Maybe have one overarching story that kind of ties them all together somewhat per season. But that's expensive. You've got uniforms, you got sets. There'd be a lot to manage with that. But I think that would be fun as well.
Yeah, if you're going literally, then I'd also go post Nemesis because it gives the option to everything. But I would go to actually post Nemesis, meaning we've now got this weird treaty with Romulans. Let's evolve that. Let's have a story where maybe and this is something new, right? This is our first Romulan Starfleet hybrid crew experiment ship to see if this alliance can go beyond and maybe be part of the Federation. Doesn't conflict with anything, because obviously it fails, but it's a half Romulan crew, and you're in Starfleet uniforms because you agreed to that, but there's Romulan procedures which are a bit radical, so you have quite a... And I don't know if I want to see this, but I'm saying if you're going something brand new, right? You have that weird cultural clash and about learning to live together because you are not the same culturally, but explicitly you see in the narrative in the course of the season that maybe you think the Romulans might be, there's a backdoor negativity, but you actively see in flashbacks that whoever the Praetor is actually telling these guys, no, seriously, do it for real. Don't fuck around with them. Be a crew. There's no plans. Use your real name. Go through the back door. That's the thing in Picard. Use a backdoor name.
Yes, the Romulan name.
Yes. Like really, and that's the twist. The twist is they're not bad, right? Because Romulans act a bit shady sometimes, whatever. And they do missions in an unusual part of space. This is the Romulan zone that is unknown to the Federation. And you have these interesting things. And then, because it is in Picard, you get to have an Admiral or Captain Riker bring in one point, but it's a very minor part. And yeah, that's because that feels new, doesn't it? A Romulan human. I mean, we wouldn't necessarily love it, but it would be new. The sort of textural, cultural, differently.
Yeah, they tried that in DS9. She lasted one episode.
Well, trying to Voyager
invisible.
Last few episodes, the Marquis crew.
Yeah. I just want to read a few things here. Classifero says they did an anthology show exactly like that. It's called Short Treks. No, that's not a.
Ooh,
that's all the same era. That was all the same era. If you're talking very short treks, that's just no.
Yeah, very short treks is anthology, but it's also just garbage. Garbage in, garbage out. Apart from Aaron's, which was great.
Yeah. So let's say Sean Corpier, $5. A good Lost Era show, absolutely. As long as they maintain visual canon.
And the sad thing is, just make an Excelsior class, do the bridge, do the uniforms, everything about that holds up beautifully.
And do what Star Wars did, keep it the same.
Yep, and because now you've got the budget, you can invent a new engineering room and corridor that all feels Star Trek 6 but newer. Because they didn't show almost anything, because they couldn't. And so you get to a lot of new sets. You know, we get to see what the hell that bottom bit under the Excelsior is that you can fly into. Let's do that, right? That'd be cool. Yeah. Maybe even in the show, it gets refitted to Excelsior refit in the show, and you get to see that process of like with one of the test beds for that. That's cool. Bit of, you know, I mean, they don't like it because the fins.
Yeah.
Don't know.
BJ throws in $2. Opinions on the $200 to $300 slideshow Trek figures. A sideshow.
Remind myself on those.
I didn't know Sideshow was making Trek figures. That's interesting. This Sideshow always does good work. A little pricey, and some quality issues with some of their plastic breaking. But
well, I'm looking at the website, and it's all, for the most part, it's all X06 models.
Oh, is it? Okay.
And there's a couple that aren't, but for the most part, it's just X06 because the slideshow's a platform to sell, right? They don't necessarily make stuff themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just X06, which are obviously fantastic. I mean, they're high end, but they're, you know, amazing. And then on some really random characters, which I love.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Do weird shit, you know. Wonderful.
Solaris, the long hauler rail fan, throws in $5.
Thanks so much.
And says that's when I thought about a Star Trek Klingon or Romulan, something new path for Star Trek.
Well, I mean, if you want to go new, do Star Trek Worf, do Star Trek Klingon Honor. That's a good name, actually. Have it be General Worf after Picard Season 3. Michael's still fine. It'd be aboard a new Klingon ship. And there's kind of the reverse of TNG. There's a Federation human officer who's in Klingon attire, who's part of the bridge crew. It's the exact reverse. I mean, he was born on Kronos, or wherever, and you have literally the reverse culture. But Worf has to be, you know, mixing being an ultra famous celebrity, Starfleet training, be a captain, bring back JG for some audio, you know, like that would be very interesting to watch. A Klingon show with Worf being not the lead of it, but like one of the core fundamentals, kind of like Cobra Kai. You know, he's a main force, but there are new characters, and you know, some really great Klingons who have such a diverse, you know, and we actively show, like New Academy, a Klingon engineer, a Klingon medical officer. It's a Klingon ship. They would have a one of each, right? So we see a really diverse set of Klingons, aren't just the warrior class. That would be really interesting.
Would be, yeah.
And it's both new and yet old.
Yeah. Damn. Well, Devo77X says, take Garrett from Section 31 and show her becoming the captain of the Enterprise C. Hard pass. No. Look, she'd be fine as a young Garrett, but they're going to drag all that shit with them, the visual incontinuities, and they would just fuck it up. So if they want to just hard reset, use that actress and have everything visually fine, yes.
The problem is, given how young she was, she didn't feel like Garrett at all, because you can't really extrapolate that age to that age. So she was fine as a person, but didn't feel Garrett. I don't know how you could feel like Garrett at that age, but I wouldn't go out my way to say, let's have a Garrett show with her as lead. It's like, she was okay. Like, she wasn't a standout.
They need to have a young Garrett episode where it's a Halloween episode and she's wearing a costume and she's got an arrow through her head. Shrapnel.
Oh, too soon. That was, 1997. It's too soon, Stuart. It's too soon.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
It's tricky because a lot of these shows have been done, obviously. But I would also be fine to see something like a new Defiant class being lost in the Gamma Quadrant. Like, even smaller ship where it's, 30 people and it's sort of like Universe a little bit, you know every single person, and there's an arc, and they plan every single character's arc over the course of the season, because there's only so many people, everyone has a role to play, and then you have these inner politics, and how does a ship that's not able to survive that far away survive? I wouldn't make it multiple seasons, I'd make it like 2 seasons to get back home, but like that turmoil of how does a crew of that small, where the stress of that is so intense and it's quite a dangerous part of space, and they have to use violence to survive, but how far can they push that without going morals? Should we disable this alien Elbeck ship so hard that we risk destroying them, but also they won't chase us for several days? Or do we just say, well, they're impulse engines, they can't chase us for several hours, right? That level of how far do we go to be safe?
Okay, the Gamma Quadrant's interesting, but what about a ship getting hurled to another galaxy?
The problem with that is that they take all the Trek out of it. Because it's just,
Well,
the Gamma Quadrant, you can mention Dominion, all the backstory can still play minimally, enough for texture. I mean, yes, possibly, but then it's kind of any other show. For me, I would need, if you're doing a galaxy, I would need a ship we know and love, like a Galaxy class. So we are firmly in the Trek
that'd be
canon.
ironic, wouldn't it? A Galaxy class
Yes,
sent
it
to another
would.
galaxy. And it's actually the USS Galaxy.
Yeah. Which is what Red Dead Media pitched, kind of. No, see, that would be fair. You have all the nostalgia, but it's just passive. But you'd have it in a late era, so the ship's old, which would make it kind of fun. So it's not a relic, but it's an older ship.
It'd be really interesting is that concept. So TNG era
Ship?
Galaxy class going to the galaxy, but they find wreckage or debris
Yes.
from a future Starfleet
Yes.
that shouldn't exist yet. That would be really interesting and kind of unravel that mystery.
I mean, it's also Prodigy, with the Protostar. As in them going back in time. As in,
no, yeah.
Yeah, but that's fine. These are all good ideas, right? Yeah, no, I love that, actually. And that's the end of season 2. The ship is, you have future technology, kind of, but not. And maybe even the people who came back, or it wouldn't be active, it'd be an accidental travel back, right? It'd be an instant. And you find the survivors, and you recognize the uniform as being a variant of a future uniform, so it'd be a logical uniform. Or even they're a relativity officer, who are now having to survive, and for whatever reason they can't travel back.
Yeah.
And this is just high concept shows. You could just have a ship doing diplomatic routes, or a medical ship doing medical things. Like, these are all low concepts. You could do big and small, right? It's a broad universe.
The Adventures of the USS Grissom, all its scientific missions.
Oh no, the Grissom A.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be actually funny. Yeah.
Richard Lau, £10.
Oh, thank you again.
Timeline cleaner who goes around picking up tech that's in the wrong time. First up, taking the assimilated soldiers out of Chateau Picard's walls.
Oh God.
Yeah, I mean that's an interesting. A temporal investigations or temporal show would be good. But that could be like the anthology thing where you jump to different time periods each episode.
What you just pitched is a smart quantum leap.
Yeah.
Because if I was doing that, I'd actually love this. You actively make every issue fresh. So for example, you start an episode and you're on a Excelsior, let's say, and the Excelsior then discovers Dominion bug ship, and they fight a Jem'Hadar, and this Jem'Hadar goes on the bridge and kills some officers. And it's like, that's wrong. And then after, it's like Columbo, right? You see the murder. And then you then see the officer have to travel back using whatever technique and stop the scenario from happening and clean it up. So you get to actually break the universe every episode because he's there to fix it. And then you get to play in various timelines. And does that sound fun? Just fun. There's no consequences because his job is to reset it, but you get to play with all these different things. Would that be a win?
Just seeing different time periods would be amazing. Yeah.
And it can be as small as the K7 set. And it would be a different K station in my version, but like just rebuild that set, and a different TOS person, different captain of the Farragut, whatever, or the Potemkin does something and it goes wrong, blows up the station. Yeah. That's not meant to happen. Go back and undo it. Really small, only 4 rooms. That's great. Yeah.
Mark USP says the guys over at Red Letter Media pitched the Star Trek Galaxy concept in 2019? ? Yes, they did. It was a good pitch too.
We made a video about it in Copyright Strike. It was great.
Yeah. Yeah.
I made CG for it.
Richard Lau, though, £10. How about a timeline? Oh, that came through twice.
I mean, damn. that came through. Would you guys want to see that timeline cleaner? Because that to me is really exciting. Because you could do any year of any race. You could do a Klingon solo, a Romulan pack led. That's actually really fun because you could just do 1 or 2 rooms and a few uniforms. That, I mean, given that every single new show has budget for new sets, right? Enterprise of the week, right? They're making new aliens do makeup. You just say, right, this episode is going to be aboard a Ferengi style ship from TNG Season 3. You build 2 rooms, you build 2 makeups. That's in budget, right? You don't build the bridge, you build a segment. That's actually fair. Yeah, that's actually really, yeah, I really like that. That's a really good idea.
And Raj says a Star Trek anthology series called Star Trek Time or Star Trek Temporal or Star Trek Forever. Star Trek Forever works. I like that.
That implies bigger things to me than this concept.
Yeah.
But
Classic for real, $5. The show where Admiral Satie does a drumhead court martial of whoever was in charge of Picard season 1 and 2 script writing. Maybe throw in Discovery while we're at it.
Ouch.
Sure.
Well, of course, the irony is, and this is more of a question to the chat, would you watch a Star Trek lawyer show?
Samuel T. Cogley.
Yeah, well, it's just they're on Earth or whatever planet, so standing sets, and people come to them in a trial room that you pre-exist, and they're various alien races, various people across the Federation, and they do trials with showing clips and
flashbacks and stuff.
Yeah. I don't know if you could do every concept well, because that's a lot of hard to think about logic of the universe, but yeah.
It's funny because there's a novel I have upstairs that's a red shirt novel, which is just that. There's a murder on a starbase, and the whole thing's the investigation of the murder and the subsequent trial, all set in Star Trek universe, not using any of the characters. Like, there may be 1 or 2 characters that are kind of like cameos in it, but it's just that. It's just a Star Trek murder novel. So
I feel like I would watch that, but I would be quite critical if it wasn't smart. Because lawyer shows, in theory, need to be smart, in theory. Or, I mean, I spoke about Columbo earlier. Would you watch
Star Trek SCI?
Well, yeah. But would you watch a Star Trek Columbo style show where there's a murder and they're investigators, they go around different parts of different races, and they're just a Starfleet prime investigator? Would you watch that?
Yeah, probably.
Go to Bolian homeworld and you see a murder and you investigate a murder and talk to Bolian people and you meet Bolian children and you meet Bolian fashion designer. That would be interesting. It'd be dumb, probably. But if you embrace that, I would have the main character be very straight played, like a Leslie Nielsen from Airplane, like really straight laced. But he's dealing with, of course, the cultural, like he's going to Ferenginar and they're all naked and he can't say or blink or anything because he's doing his job and everyone's naked. Or he goes to Andoria and everyone's don't know. Go to Kronos, everything's got blood in it. Even the tap water. Blood water. Water.
BJ throws in $2. Star Trek Neutral Zone treaty violation. All right, guys.
That was Star Trek NZTV.
Yeah.
Oof.
We have had a good discussion. This has been a good 2 hours. I really appreciate you guys for tuning up.
Yes.
Be sure to join me tomorrow night for my first reaction to the next episode of Starfleet Academy. And of course on Friday for our breakdown and complete review.
Yes. And give that one a chance, guys. I don't know if it's going to be good or not, but it could be really interesting. So do tune in, be there, so you have your conversation, you get to vote in the polls, etc. And you guys have really turned out today and this entire week. Thank you. We needed it, and you guys have come out swinging. So thank you, everybody. And those at PayPal especially. I mean, everyone, but PayPal especially. Thank you. You swung the bat and it's helped.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. We love you, and we'll see you soon. Until then, till next